Hello everyone, welcome to Sweetie Speaks official YouTube channel. This is the first episode of Chai Pe Charcha with Sweetie. Let me first tell you why we are starting this series. All of you have certain questions and a lot of questions are common. So why not answer all these questions through this series? Today, I'll answer some of very common questions which are going to help you out on how you are going to decide the next path when you want to start your career in VLSI. So let's get started. And just a disclaimer, I'm wearing this because it's very cold out here. So please don't mind. Let's get started now. We have a lot to cover. So first, I will start with the roadmap to VLSI careers. Now, when we talk about roadmap, you need to first understand what are different career opportunities, because VLSI is also like an ocean. Software, if you talk about software, it's also like an option. It's an option. But I don't want electronics engineers to go to that option because semiconductors is going to have a bright future. That's what I feel. And if you can make a career, if you can start your career in VLSI right now, you are going to be at a very great advantage, because right now everyone is focusing on semiconductors. Everyone, each and every country understands the importance of semiconductors, and we are going to need young minds in future. If you are really passionate about creating the future of technology, creating those complex chips, you want to contribute towards it, VLSI is the right career for you, and I am here to guide you. Now let's understand VLSI design flow, because to understand different career opportunities, to understand the roadmap, first you need to understand the VLSI design flow. VLSI design flow means what are the different steps which we have in the VLSI process. Like anything in VLSI also starts with architecture. Architecture means first you need to architect. This is done by a person called as architect. It is mostly an experienced person in industry who has a huge amount of experience. They will architect your design. Once the architect is ready, they create a spec. Along with the designers, they create a spec. We call it as low level design and high level design. These two specs are created, which will have details about how you are going to design. These documents are taken as a reference by the design engineers who are going to RTL, design engineers who are going to code your design, and then they will also be used as a reference for verification engineers, physical design engineers, to understand what is the design so that we can verify it properly. So the first steps are architect, then you need to create the specs, and then the design. From these only the various career opportunities emerge. Like the person who is architecting becomes architect, the person who is doing the RTL coding becomes the RTL design engineer, and people who are doing verification become verification engineer. Then there is a step which is called as layout. People who are doing layout become the layout engineer. Then we have physical design. People who do physical design, who actually do placement and routing, they place the different blocks of the chip in different areas of the chip. That is called as placement and routing. So that is a physical design part. And then we have fabrication. When you do fabrication, that is done in the fabrication lab by the fabrication engineers. Then we also have DFT, design for testability. We have post silicon validation. These are some of the major design steps. There are also a lot of sub steps, but talking about that is not sufficient. So what I have done, I have created a detailed video about VLSI design flow. You can find this video in Sweetie Speaks official YouTube channel in Getting Started with VLSI series. And after that, there is also a video on various career opportunities in VLSI. So first go through that VLSI design flow video, then the various career opportunities in VLSI. After that, after you understand various career opportunities, you will know where your interest lies. For example, if you are interested in making the design, you can go to RTL design. If you are more interested in verifying, then you can go to verification. If you are interested in the physical side, then you can go to physical design. Then I have also created a video on the skill sets which are required. All these videos are present in Getting Started with VLSI series in the Sweetie Speaks official YouTube channel. And I always say there are a lot of free resources which you can use. These are really enough for the fresher. So I had also created some videos on the free resources. There is a video on free NPTEL courses. There is a video on free practice platforms which you can use. So please go through all these videos and you will get how you are going to get started and what is your career interest. This is the first step. Once you identify that, you need to acquire those skill set. I'll just give you a gist. You go through that skill sets video in detail, but let me give you a gist. First, you need to understand the design concepts. Even if you are going in verification or physical design, design concepts are very important. So these design concepts are covered in digital design. That's one subject. Then you have computer or architecture. Then if you want to acquire some add-on skills, you can understand in detail designs. For example, cache memory is something which you can understand in detail. So that will be one detailed design concept. If you are interested in going to backend, you should know MOS concepts. That is also one skill set. If you are interested in going towards analog side, you should also know analog. So these are some skill sets. After that, we need to understand coding. So for coding, Verilog is the first thing. Verilog forms the basis of system Verilog. So first understand Verilog, then understand system Verilog. And you need to code. Until and unless you don't code, you are not going to learn anything. Just reading won't help you out. You need to code it by yourself. You need to execute the code. You need to by yourself try to improvise the code. How you are going to improvise? Say for example, the same thing I can write in 20 lines of code, same thing I can write in 10 lines of code. Try to optimize your lines of code. Try to optimize the simulation time. Try to create the efficient designs. Same design you can create in more hardware, same design you can create in less hardware. You need to create optimized design which will come by practice. And again, there are a lot of free tools available which I have already talked about in Getting Started with VLSI series. You can use free practice platforms like HDL Bits is one which you can use for Verilog practice. Then EDA Playground you can use for system Verilog and UVM practice. So once you understand Verilog, system Verilog, then for verification specifically, this is for verification engineers. Where for verification in industry, we are right now using UVM. UVM is Universal Verification Methodology. Now understand, it's a methodology. It's not a language. It's just a methodology. The language which we use in UVM is System Verilog. So system Verilog forms the basis of UVM. Until and unless you don't know system Verilog, you can't learn UVM. So go step by step. First learn the design subjects, then learn Verilog, system Verilog, then you will learn UVM. This is how you are going to start. And then if you want to acquire, to make your resume shine out, you need to acquire some add-on skills. Some suggestions which I can give you is cache memory, which I have already given. Then learn some scripting language. Like, it's your wish what you want to pick Perl, pick Tickle, whatever you feel comfortable, pick those languages and get started. And you can also have some more add-on skills like RAL is an advanced UVM concept. You can learn it and add it in your resume. That will make your resume shine out. You can learn system Verilog assertions in detail and add it in your resume. You can learn some advanced Unix commands like grep, awk, find, and sed in detail. Some more advanced Unix command, add it in your resume. Now the question comes from where you are going to study. There are various materials available online and lot of them are free. That's the good thing. Whatever you need for the fresher, all those resources are available for free. And the good thing is a lot of skills you have already acquired when you were doing your graduation and post graduation. Let me give you an example. The first point of reference should be books. For example, for digital electronics, if you were an EC graduate, you would know, a lot of us, I think, in all universities, one common book for digital electronics is Morris Minor. I still have the hard copy of that book because that was like a Bible for us in digital electronics. So that can be one book which you can refer, and there would be a lot of books in your syllabus for which you have already created notes. You would already have purchased those books. Those will be the first reference point. Similarly, for computer architecture, you would have your college notes and you would have bought some books. So that is a good place from where you can study, because self written notes are easy to understand compared to if you get some material from outside. Compared to it, if you have your own handwritten notes, it's very easy to understand. That's what I have felt. Now books was one point. Then another, I said there are a lot of free courses. For example, nptel. In nptel there are a lot of courses in various subjects, various domains. You will find a course on digital electronics, you will find a course on computer architecture, you will find a course on verilog system, verilog. There is a course on verification, there is a course on fabrication, there is a course on DFT, there is a course on physical design. So many courses are freely available in nptel. Even I have seen one course where they are designing the processor in verilog or system verilog. So all these courses are already available for free in nptel. And if you are confused which courses to refer, I have created a video about courses on nptel. Again, this video is available in Getting Started with VLSI series on Sweetie Speaks official YouTube channel. So that first point will be books. Then the second point was NPTEL courses, and from where to practice, there are free practice platforms like HDL Bits, and there is EDA Playground. So these practice platforms are okay for fresher. We are not expecting the freshers to have tool knowledge because we understand that tools are very costly. What we need is you should have knowledge of the subject. Tools you can learn when you come to industry, but if your basics are not clear and you know the tool, then you are of no use, right? So it's better to get your basics clear, and some things when you enter the industry you can easily learn, so don't worry about it. Now, what things we have covered, let me summarize so that you don't get confused, and the summary is very important. So if you want, you can take notes or understand what I'm saying now. The first thing in the roadmap is to understand which career options do you want to choose. For that, you need to understand VLSI design flow. And this VLSI design flow is explained in detail in Sweetie Speaks official YouTube channel. There is a video on VLSI design flow. Once you understand VLSI design flow, you will understand the process of VLSI design, and from this process only the various career opportunities will pop up. So understand this process and understand different career opportunities in VLSI. Again, for the career opportunities in VLSI, I have created a detailed video which is present in Getting Started with VLSI series in Sweetie Speaks official YouTube channel. Once you understand, you will know what career is more suitable to you. Are you more interested in design, you are more interested in verification or physical design, layout, DFT, whatever. But one more thing I want to add on is most of job opportunities are in front end. So it is a very good starting point for the fresher. Even if you are interested in physical design and you are getting a job in verification, my suggestion is just take that job, enter the industry, and you can definitely switch the domain once you enter the industry. Within 2 years, try to switch domain. Getting into VLSI is important, and most of these skill sets are common only, be it front end, be it back end. You need to know digital electronics, you need to know computer architecture. So only 2 3 skill sets vary. As a fresher, you can enter wherever you get the opportunity. Just enter VLSI, okay? And front end is the best target. So since front end is the career where you find most of opportunities. Around 60 to 70% jobs in the market are for front end VLSI only. That's why I have created a detailed video on skill sets which are required for front end. Again, this is present in the same getting started with VLSI in Sweetie Speaks official YouTube channel. And then from where to study, you will have books, you will have NPTEL courses. From where to practice, there are a lot of free practice platforms. And one very important thing is you need to practice. Just reading, just going through the theory is not going to help you out until you practice. Until you practice and see the output, optimize your own code, keep on optimizing until it's the best code you can write, you are not going to learn. That's why practice is the key. And create your own self written notes, because self written notes, once you create, later on you can refer the same. It is going to help you a lot and it will make your job easy, because when you understand and write it in your own language, in your own notes, it helps you understand the concept better. And finally, how to make your resume stand out, because it is very important to make your resume stand out since the job opportunities are very limited for fresher. So what you are going to do, you are going to have some add-on skills. Some add-on skills which I can recommend is have some in-depth knowledge of design concepts like cache memories is one. Have a very detailed understanding on cache memories. If possible, do projects on cache memories. There are different replacement algorithms in cache. You can do the project on these replacement algorithms. Okay, so this is how you can make your resume shine out. And then in coding, you can have again some advanced concepts, like in UVM there is a concept of UVM RAL. In System Verilog there is a concept of System Verilog assertions. Understand it in detail and then add it to your resume, and if possible create a project on System Verilog assertions. Another very good skill set to add on, which I highly recommend, is protocols. One very simple protocol which you can add is AXI. AXI is the AMBA standard, and AMBA, since it's AMBA, it's a open source. You can find the documents for AMBA online. Just search for AMBA protocol. There are a lot of documents. There are a lot of places from which you can study. Just search online and you will get a lot of material. Try to understand this AXI protocol. Try to do a small project, say just using one master and one slave. You are doing some communication with the help of AXI. Start with that, then increase the number of masters and slaves. Like this, you can start doing the projects on the protocols. So these are some very good things. And another good skill set which you can add to make your resume sign out is risk v processors. Risk v processors is a very hot topic in VLSI right now. It's a open source, so everyone is trying to use risk v processors. It has a lot of advantages. So one project which I can suggest you is, if you can design a 5 stage pipelining in risk v. Now a lot of freshers are doing a project on Riskvi. They are designing a pipeline in Riskvi. How you can do something different from them? Don't just design the pipeline. Try to insert certain pipelining hazards. Say you have inserted certain data hazards in your design, and try to include a hardware in your design. Try to eliminate this hazard and try to verify it. You will create a hazard, you will give such instructions that the data hazard is created, and since you have already designed the hardware to mitigate that data hazard, you are going to be able to mitigate that data hazard. This is going to make your resume shine out. Your project title will be creating a technique to eliminate data hazards in 5 stage risk-free pipeline. Sounds better, right? Much better than just design of 5 stage pipeline. It's better that you have designed something which is eliminating a problem, right? So this is how you can create some unique projects, and this is a roadmap on how you are going to start a career in VLSI. This is just the first episode of Chai Pe Charcha with Sweetie. We are going to come with a lot of such episodes which are going to answer a lot of your questions. what I'm going to request you, whatever questions you have, please post in the comments, so that I will pick all those questions and come up with such chai pe charcha series, so that all of you can be benefited. Why just benefit one? Let's benefit everyone. Why not answer all common questions, so that all of you know what to do? I hope I am helping you out and these sessions are very useful to you. Always open to feedback, and I would like to know how you are finding these sessions in the in the comment section. And I request you to please circulate these videos with your colleagues, with your friends, or whoever is trying to make a career in VLSI. These videos are going to be very helpful for them. So I just want to help out everyone, and I will see you in the episode 2 of Chai Pe Charcha with Sweetie. Thank you and best luck for making a career in VLSI.